Welcome back, everyone, to the Daily Dollar Podcast. This is episode 20.
Episode 20, milestone.
I'm your host, Cait McCready, and I'm with...
Art Morrison III here, ladies and gents.
He came in before I brought him in, but that's all right. He's excited. It's episode 20.
Yeah.
There might as well be fireworks, confetti, balloons. It's a lot of episodes.
It's my fireworks sound effects.
Yeah.
20 is a lot of episodes. That's 4 weeks we've been doing this.
Yeah.
So y'all better share and like and subscribe and be listening. I'm not about to be wasting my time on these joints.
No, we're doing all right.
All right, let's go.
So
what's the topic for today?
we're going to lighten up from last episode because I know you got a little hot and bothered last episode.
Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me in my DMs.
Funny enough, this episode was actually suggested by somebody in the DMs.
Just provide value. That's it.
They
Provide
came
value.
correct.
Came correct.
This person came correct, and I think we
Who was it?
actually.
Give him a shout out. At who?
I don't know his handle actually.
What do you mean? Just click his name.
Yeah, let me look at it real quick.
So
Oh,
this was,
Tobias. I don't have his handle right now, but he's.
Oh, that was on Facebook?
That was a screenshot. I screenshotted it.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
And it only shows the name of the person.
Well, find it so we can shout them out before the end of the episode.
Okay, I'll find it.
But anyway, yeah, we opened up for everyone to DM us suggestions of episodes, and we actually got one. Someone actually DM'd us.
Yeah, no, he always comes correct though. He's asked good questions, and he mentioned this topic. So the topic is, and I think we touched on it a little bit on our house hacking episode, but how you could leverage 2 FHA loans when house hacking when you're a couple.
Okay, so let me correct that. You can't. Okay, what do you mean by leverage 2 FHA loans?
Well, just like kind of like an easier way of.
Read his question.
Okay.
Because you just asked a different question than what you read.
You are so nasty.
I'm just trying to help you because you're throwing off
You
the
hear
episode.
how you just talk to me?
Read the
his
question.
No, you just try to make it nicer. The possible idea with house. Say there's a couple, both first-time home buyers. Can and how could they leverage each other's FHA loan for this to use this strategy?
Did you answer his question?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Read what you answered. I want to see if you answered correctly.
I said as long as you're not married, you can both use 2 separate FHAs and house hack twice.
On 2 different properties.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to be clear. You
Yeah.
can't like combine FHA loans.
Yeah.
Right? So Cait can't get pre-approved for $250,000. I get pre-approved for $250,000. We're not married, so we're not combining 2 FHA loans for $500,000.
That's.
I'm not explaining that to you. I'm explaining that to listeners because they don't. Remember, people don't know.
I know.
So when you're married, you only can use, well, first of all, an FHA loan, also known as a first-time homebuyer's loan, is a loan that it's a government-backed loan where essentially it just allows you to put less money down. But from a lender perspective, they're protected by the government. So it's really meant for everyone to be able to buy their first house. The amount that you have to put down is 3.5%, which means if it's a $100,000 house, that's $3,500. If it's $200,000, that's $7,000. This is a very achievable amount to save up and buy your first house. But it's really, really, really helpful and lucrative and powerful if you buy a 2 to 4 family residential property that has more than 1 unit, 2 to 4, that you can rent out and make money on. So if I buy a 2-family, for example, and my mortgage is $2,000, but my tenant is paying me $2,000, now I'm living for free. If they're paying $2,200, I'm profiting $200. If they're paying $1,500, I'm only paying $500 to live. And if you guys are an adult in America, you know that paying $500 a month for rent is extremely clutch. Not to mention the appreciation of the asset as time goes by, as well as the equity you gain as your tenant pays down your mortgage. That's more equity, aka cash, out of the property that you can pull or have access to when you sell it, refinance, or pull out a home equity loan. So that's FHA. To answer the guy's question, you definitely
Tobias.
To answer the guy, no, I'm kidding. To answer Tobias, or you need to find his Instagram handle.
Okay, it is Tobias Seward. Tobias.
Oh Jesus, this is a difficult one to
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out. All right, well, Tobias.
T-O-B.
How you know it's not Tobias E-word? Tobias
2
Sayward?
S's, Edward.
Whatever, right? So to answer
I'll
his
read it
question,
later.
when if you're a couple and you're not married, now listen, we don't want to give any bad advice here. So you can't house hack twice if you're not going to live in both. This means you and your significant other would have to live separately, or at the very least, get your mail separate, right? And be registered that, like if me and Cait were to do it, Cait would be living at one property, I'd be living at another. So even if she stayed with me every night and had maybe a roommate who just happened to be paying the full rent for the unit that they were roommates in, that's perfectly fine. Okay, but for Cait to have my address as her official address on her license and all that, and me too, and it not be her primary residence, is actually illegal. So we don't want to give illegal advice here. When you use your FHA, it's supposed to be your primary residence. But what I always recommend
For
is
a year.
For 1 year.
Yes.
But what I always recommend for that 1 year is having a loved one, best friend, cousin, roommate, someone that you actually know who is willing to allow you to have mail sent there, who is willing to allow you to stay there sometimes if you need to, maybe have a room there, hold some things there, so you're not technically breaking rules, but it's supposed to be your primary residence, to answer your question.
But what if one person is strapped for cash and the other person isn't?
So you can also do a gift letter, meaning you can get the cash for a down payment of the FHA loan from someone else, literally with a letter saying that they're gifting you from a parent or a loved one, they're gifting you the down payment. So that's another thing that you can do, that really can come from anyone. It can come from a significant other, it can come from a parent. Another way that we've done it in the past, not with a significant other and just a friend, you can co-sign FHA. So, for example, Cait had a job, so she was approved for a certain amount, but she really wanted to leave her job. I didn't have a job. I'm an entrepreneur. So my income was based on my tax returns. Okay, I hope everyone's following me. So I was pre-approved for much less because as an entrepreneur, we don't like to pay taxes. So I was filing low amounts on my tax return. All right. So how would, if you didn't use your FHA and I didn't use mine, how would we come together in order to use the benefits of what each of us are bringing to do one FHA? This is where it would make sense to share an FHA. If Cait has a job but doesn't have good credit or doesn't have the cash, but I have cash and my credit's good, but I don't have the income, now we can co-sign on one FHA loan and essentially share it. And now it has to be both of our primary, what do you call it?
Residence.
Yeah, primary residence.
Yeah.
But we're sharing one loan. So we wouldn't be able to do two at the same time. But if you were to really maximize it and do two FHAs, then again, it would have to technically be both of our primary residences. And it would, like, we would have to either co-sign with someone else outside of the relationship or have all the pieces that the lender needed in order to approve us, which is X amount of credit score. It ranges depending on the market, but let's just say 600, 630 is safe. A certain amount of income, depending on how much you're trying to get pre-approved for, then obviously the cash to put the down payment.
Right. So that's
Cait did a head nod, guys.
Couple style.
Cait did a head nod on a podcast as if you guys would see it.
Well, I didn't know if you had more to say. So.
No, I'm looking at you to see if you had anything to say.
No, I'm good here.
I mean, that's house hacking for couples. What, are you mad because I yelled at you?
No, I'm good.
I think you're upset because you were confused about the FHA.
I wasn't confused. I knew exactly. Art gets confused when I ask him questions, thinking that I don't know the answers to the questions.
Okay, so explain to me why you thought there would be a benefit of doing two FHAs not at the same time.
That's a question. It's a leading question.
Got you. So if you have an FHA, after a year, you can refinance into a conventional loan. So you're replacing that loan with a different kind of loan that's not 3.5% down, hopefully 25%, maybe 20. And now that frees up your FHA to purchase another house. Now, conventional loans are also actually called investment property loans. So once you turn one primary residence into an investment property, that means that you will need, technically, right, another primary residence. So any property that you're actually going to live in, you can use your FHA loan on, which is 3.5%. Now, FHA loan does come with a higher PMI insurance, meaning it's a mortgage insurance that helps protect the bank from if you foreclose. So that's obviously a cost. It makes the mortgage higher. But you can also do conventional loans as low as 5% down, which is 95% LTV, meaning instead of putting 3.5% or 3,500 for every thousand, you'll be putting 5,000 for every thousand. Those loans exist as well. We've actually used that on our primary residence to free up our FHA to maybe do another primary residence. So you can always replace these loans, aka refinance. And if you understand the refinancing strategies, then you can really run it up on the house hacking like strategies. Like you can really maximize it. It's bigger than just living one side, rent the other. Like for example, me and Cait want a vacation home. We're gonna house hack it because it's a vacation home. So we're not just gonna own a house and be paying a mortgage, but only visit it 30 days, 60 days out the year. We're probably going to Airbnb it, put a tenant in it, VRBO it, which is another form of house hacking. Especially since we're entrepreneurs, we're not tied down to one place. We're not yet married, so we do have an FHA available. So we can use a primary residence loan and technically have our primary residence in another state, let's say sunny Florida, and actually house our businesses there to avoid taxes and all these different things because we're not tied down anywhere, but we can use an FHA for all that, as well as house hack and Airbnb it or VRBO or get roommates or whatever. So there's so many different ways of house hacking, but when you are a duo or a couple or a partnership, it's definitely much easier because you have more pieces to the puzzle each person can offer to make it happen.
Boom. So that's house hacking couple
That's
style.
house hacking. That's episode 20. Valuable episode right there. I think everyone in the world should house hack. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see why not.
Yeah, everyone thinks about living for free or cash flowing or having cheap rent. But what are the other benefits?
Having a property for the rest of your life that's cash flowing.
Literally the rest of your life. Even if it wasn't cash flowing, you have a property for the rest of your life. It's tangible. It's a great investment. If you buy a house today for $200 and in 30 years it's worth $600, that's $400 free and clear, untaxable cash that you have access to. Not to mention the $200,000 that somebody else, a tenant, paid down if you house hack. So it's like, if you think long term, house hacking is a super powerful tool and the first step really to building wealth.
Yeah.
That is episode 20, guys. I'm almost in the third.
I'm Cait McCready. Where can they learn more about house hacking?
Bro, I was gonna do all that. We're getting in an argument today.
We're fighting.
Are you
Episode
hungry?
20 and we're fighting. No, I think you are.
No. I just ate. Episode 20. United Home Relief, Daily Dollar.
Where can they find more about house hacking?
UnitedHomeRelief.com. Real Estate Roadmap is our online course where we actually get in depth and share documents and in the field shadowing videos regarding house hacking and any other real estate strategy you can imagine. Where can they share, subscribe to this podcast?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Go follow us on United Home Relief, on Instagram at United Home Relief. If you have any suggestions on topics or anything that you want to hear, feel free. The DMs are open.
Yeah, thanks Tobias was he the only person that gave
Yeah, I think he's the only one that asked for a specific
Come on,
topic.
listeners, step up. Tobias is killing y'all right now.
TOBIASSEWARD. That's
his handle?
That's his handle.
All
so
right.
go
Thanks.
follow him. He's cool. He does videos and pictures and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'll shoot him a follow. I never heard of him before.
He's a cool guy.
All right, cool. Almost in the third here.
Cait McCready here.
Signing off. This is the Daily Dollar.
Another day, another dollar.
Babe, stop saying the R on dollar.
Another day, another dollar.
Peace.
Bye.